The last couple of times I've streamed, I've had some people in the chat ask me which battleship should they get for 750,000 global XP, and at least a couple of them have suggested to me that maybe they were thinking about getting the Tirpitz, which at this point is one of the oldest premium ships in World of Warships Legends. It was the reward for one of the very earliest campaigns, and it was released so long ago that when it was released, its turtleback armor was broken, along with Bismarck's. They used to get citadeled all the time, and it took Wargaming forever to fix the problem, but both the Bismarck and Tirpitz were fixed long ago. And now the only question is, should you get the Tirpitz or not, given that it works correctly? And, well, the Tirpitz has probably been power crept massively. It's certainly not the strongest of the 750k global XP battleships. At least I don't think so. If it were up to me, I would be buying the Alabama first. Perhaps the Odin, too. The Odin is another German battleship with torpedoes, but I think it's actually potentially a little bit better than the Tirpitz. I don't know. That is up for you to decide yourself if you're thinking about getting the Tirpitz. The good news, if you do get the Tirpitz, is that it can still be pretty effective. Now, this is going to be a very short video today, but a very impactful one in terms of our game impact with the Tirpitz here. We've spawned over by the Charlie flank. We've got 2 destroyers in the Charlie cap itself, versus at least one, actually now it has been revealed, 2 enemy destroyers in that Charlie cap with them. One is the Jervis, the other is a Scone. Meanwhile, my friendly battleship teammate is hiding over there on the island to the right of the screen, and he does not look like he is poised to push up at any point soon, so it's just me and the destroyers crashing into this flank. And a lot of the time this would be very inadvisable in any kind of battleship, but the Tirpitz does have one thing going for it, and that's good secondaries. It's also pretty fast, and its maneuverability is decent. I'm running the concealment module, though, which means that I'm not able to detect torpedoes as far away as I could if I were running the RGA mod, so I do need to be careful about where I drive my ship here. Obviously, we've taken down that Scone, no problem. We get the close quarters expert on him, and the Jervis is way over there, so we're in absolutely no danger of taking torpedoes if we crash into this cap. As far as we know, the second and remaining floating enemy destroyer is over in Bravo, having just taken that cap, so we should be safe. Our goal now is to push up right into this Vanguard's face. We were initially going to do that before we realized the Fuso was there, so that, well, honestly, it doesn't change the calculus all that much. The Fuso is a Tier 5 battleship. It probably should not be finding itself in a Tier 7 game. Stop fail divisioning, kids. It's not good for your team. It's also not good to sit broadside 5 kilometers away from a Tirpitz if you are in a Vanguard. Now, granted, this Vanguard is angled slightly, but he's not angled enough. We're easily able to punch into his citadel and take him down for our second kill. We've racked up 69,000 damage in the process, and now there is a Fuso 6 kilometers away from us. Good news, though. The battleship that was sitting next to that island has started to move forward, so we're going to get some support fire from him. This map, always dangerous to move past these capture circles because of these islands here in the center. We're keeping an eye on those islands to our right so that hopefully the enemy ships over there in the Bravo section of the map can't get shots on our broadside as we pass. And I think we're actually going to be pretty safe as far as that's concerned. Jervis appears next to us now that I look at the mini-map, and I did not notice it at the time I was playing this game. 2 tunnel visioned on the Fuso. Good idea to take a look at your map every now and then. I still haven't noticed that Jervis, and I could have shot at him many times already now, or at least once. So, missed opportunity on my part. Always pay attention to your map. Plus, that Jervis was on my broadside. Maybe I've noticed it now, or maybe I'm turning so I can potentially launch torpedoes off the other side of my ship at this Fuso. Either way, that's probably the best course of action in case the Jervis launched his own torpedoes. But one of our torpedoes does make contact with the Fuso. We take him down, and we get the high caliber medal in 6 minutes of this battle. Now, obviously, every Tirpitz game is not going to look like this. The Tirpitz, as I said, is a very old ship in this game, so people are aware that it is a German battleship with 6-kilometer torpedoes, and they know, if you're pushing toward them, that you intend to launch your torpedoes, just as you know that every time you see a Gneisenau, Scharnhorst, or any other battleship with torpedoes pushing toward you. So, the trick to make this ship work is, of course, to push in, and that is not going to be possible every single game, but when it is possible, when you get situations where you can push in, make use of your guns, your secondaries, and your torpedoes, well, then the Tirpitz can be a pretty fun, pretty good brawling battleship. It's just not going to be the most consistent out of all the global XP ships available for you. And this is a case in point, shooting here at a broadside Miyoko and getting nothing but overpens on him. The German guns are quite inconsistent, including the Tirpitzes. They can do great damage. Sometimes they can be even very accurate. Most of the time, they're not. And most of the time, you're not going to be able to push in like I have in this game. But I think this is a good example of some quick fun that you can have if you do own the Tirpitz. So I don't know if this is going to give you a good idea of whether or not you want to get this ship, but I've heard its name come up so many times that I thought I should take it out and maybe feature it on a video because I haven't in such a long time. I don't really like to feature games like this, of course. As you can see, it's a one-sided stomp, and there's only a single destroyer left who is retreating and refusing to die. We're going to be taking a couple pot shots at him before this game ends, trying to secure a 4th kill, but we're over 950 points, so the enemy team basically has no chance. And while I normally don't like to show one-sided sweeps like this, I thought the opening sequence of this battle with that push against the Vanguard, Fuso, and the rest of the ships there was just too dynamic not to put on YouTube, so here it is. In any case, though, the game is over, and obviously we have won, and I think we are probably top on the leaderboard as well after that performance. Brawling and pushing in, okay, we're not, we're behind the destroyer, but that's fine. Brawling and pushing in your battleship, when you do it right, it can still help you win games, and the Tirpitz, even though it's old, even though there are better ships out on the seas than it now, well, it can still perform its essential roles. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.